Vaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ Bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Jai Śrī Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Nivritta Tarshe Upagiyamana Bhavoshadhat Shotra Manobhirama Kauttama Shloka Gunanuvada Umam Svirajit Vina Pashuknat. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear Vaishnavas, for taking out your valuable time to put them together. So we are reading Canto 10, chapter number 3, entitled The Birth of Lord Krishna. Such a beautiful chapter. And we are in particular reading just Lord Krishna is born in the jail of Kamsa. And Vasudeva and Devaki are offering such wonderful prayers. So that's the section we are reading. So let's meditate upon such wonderful prayers of Vasudeva and Devaki. And these prayers are in particular offered by Devaki, the wife of Vasudeva, the mother of Krishna. Nashte loke dviparardhavasane mahabhuteshva adibhutam gateshu vyakte avyaktam kala vegena yate bhavan ekah shishyate ashesha sangyah. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravind Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada. After millions of years, at the time of cosmic annihilation, when everything manifested and unmanifested is annihilated by the force of time, the five gross elements enter into the subtle conception, and the manifested categories enter into the unmanifested substance. At that time, you alone remain, and you are known as Ananta Sheshanag. Purport: at the time of annihilation, the five gross elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, enter into the mind, intelligence, and false ego, ahankara, and then the entire cosmic manifestation enters into the spiritual energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who alone remains as the origin of everything. The Lord is therefore known as Shesha, Naga, as Adi Purusha, and by many other names. Devaki therefore prayed, after many millions of years, when Lord Brahma comes to the end of his life, the annihilation of the cosmic manifestation takes place. At that time, the five elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, and ether, enter into the Mahat Tattva. The Mahat Tattva again enters by the force of time into the non-manifested total material energy. The total material energy enters into the energetic Pradhana, and the Pradhana enters into you. Therefore, after the annihilation of the whole cosmic manifestation, you alone remain, and your transcendental name, form, quality, and paraphernalia. My Lord, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you because you are the director of the unmanifested total energy and the ultimate reservoir of the material nature. My Lord, the whole cosmic manifestation is under the influence of time, beginning from the moment up to the duration of the year. All act under your direction. You are the original director of everything and the reservoir of all potent energies. Reborn. Thank you, dear Vaishnavas, for joining, taking out your valuable time. So Mata Devaki is talking about here about the cosmic inhalation. When the inhalation happens, there are two types of inhalation, partial and the complete. Partial is at the end of a day of Brahma or Brahma's night, Brahma's 12 hour. So that's called the partial, but at the full annihilation, after millions of years, trillions of years, when the Brahma's lifespan ends, and we have studied Brahma's 1 day or 12 hours is equivalent to 1,000 Chaturyugas or 14 Manvantaras. 1,000 Chaturyugas, that's a long time. One Chaturyuga has 43 lakh years. Or 4.3 million years, one Chaturyuga. So 12 hours of Brahma is 4.3 billion years. And calculate that 100 years of his life. So that's a lot, trillions and trillions of years. So the whole point here is that ultimately, who is Ananta Shesha, who is the origin, the Adi Purusha, so many names. He is the eternal director. All the gross elements go in the subtle element go in the Mahatattva, and the Pradhan to unto the Lord, basically. Pradhan enters into you. So in short, he is the source. Krishna says, Aham bija pradapita, sarvasya cham or Am sarva karana karanam. In so many verses in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, the essence is communicated again and again that he is the cause of all causes. He is the director of all the directors. Mam Maya, Devi Yeshagunamai, Mam Maya, my energy. Bhumira Punalo Vayu Khammano Buddhire, which is so many verses are there. Same point that which Mata Devaki is speaking, that when everything is destroyed, who remains is the Supreme Lord. Any other comments anyone has? Okay, those who didn't get chance yesterday can read 26. Anyone would like to read? Who would like to read? Yes, Hare Prabhu, you want to read?
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa, devotees, Dandat Pranam, Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhupada. Text number 20. Yoyam kalastasyate avyaktabandho chestam ahos chestate ena visavam nime sadhir vatsarato mahiyams tam tve sanam kshema dama prapadye. Translation and purport by Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O inaugurator of the material world, this wonderful creation works under the control of powerful time, which is divided into seconds, minutes, hours, and years. This element of time, which extends for many millions of years, is but another form of Lord Vishnu. For your pastimes, you act as a controller of time, but you are the reservoir of all good fortune. Let me offer my full surrender unto you, Lordships, as stated in Brahma Samhita 5.52. Yachakshure savita sakala grahana Raja samasta suramurtirashesha teja Yasyendriya Yasagnaya brahmati sambrata Kala Chakra Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. The sun is the king of all planetary systems, and his unlimited potency in heat and light. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under whose control even the sun, which is considered to be the eye of the Lord, rotates within the fixed orbit of eternal time. Although we see the cosmic manifestation as gigantic and wonderful, it is within the limitation of Kala. The time factor. This time factor is also controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam. Prakriti, the cosmic manifestation, is under the control of time. Indeed, everything is under the control of time, and time is controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Supreme Lord has no fear of the onslaughts of time. Time is estimated according to the movements of the sun, Savita. Every minute, every second, every day, every night, every month, and every year of time can be calculated according to the sun's movement. But the sun is not independent, for it is under the time's control. Brahmati Samvrita Sakala Chakra. The sun moves within the Kala Chakra, the orbit of time. The sun is under the control of time. The time is controlled by the Supreme Personality of God. Therefore, the Lord has no fear of time. If you want me to summarize until here? Okay, only small paragraph. The Lord is addressed here as Avyakta Bandhu, or the inaugurator of the moments of the entire cosmic manifestation. Sometimes the cosmic manifestation is compared to a potter's wheel. When a potter's wheel is spinning, who has set it in motion? It is the potter. Of course, although sometimes we can see only the motion of the wheel and cannot see the potter himself. Therefore, the Lord who is behind the motion of the cosmos is called Avyakta Bandhu. Everything is within the limits of the time, but time moves under the direction of Lord, who is therefore not within the time's limit. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhuji, then the pranam. Wonderful verse here. So we can see that, Krishna says, I am time in Bhagavad Gita. And everything, is divided into like seconds, minutes, hours. So without Krishna's will, nothing will happen. So Krishna is the controller of time and reservoir of all good fortune. That's what this is. And Prabhupada explains further in Brahma Samhita that this, the sun is like, Surya Devata. He is the king of all the planetary systems. And he is the one who provides the light and heat. But even the sun is under the control of Lord Krishna, because the sun also rotates, but all that is the eternal time. And Prabhupada also confirms this in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dekshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacha. So even the Prakriti, the manifestation, everything, the manifestation and unmanifestation, everything happens under the control of Lord Krishna. So Prabhupada also explains about the Kala Chakra, the sun is under the control of the Supreme God. So whatever, we generally, back at home, we say, okay, whenever we have to go, leave this body, it's based on the time. And that time is controlled by Lord Krishna. So that's why, he's also addressed as Avyakta Bandhu, because the entire cosmic manifestation, Prabhupada also gives example of the potter wheel. We think that the potter wheel is, rotating automatically, but, the potter is there behind it, who is controlling it. So such a beautiful understanding, Prabhuji. Please add and correct me. Thank you. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Sun is very, very powerful. So are the other demigods, wind, rain, very powerful. It is said that even the sun's chariot itself is like 40 miles plus 40 miles. But Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam explains a very nice verse. Madbhayadvati vatoyam suryastapati madbhayat varshat tendro dahati agnir mrityoscharati madbhayat. Bhaya means fear. That's a common word. Madbhayat, madbhayat, madbhayat. Madbhayat means out of fear of me. Me means Krishna. It is because of my supremacy that the wind blows. Out of fear of me, the sun shines. Out of fear of me, the Lord of the clouds, Indra, sends forth showers. Out of fear of me, fire burns. Fire burns out of fear of me. And death goes about taking its toll out of fear of me. Wow. In short, all these agents, Yamaraj, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Surya, etc., are, of course, they are devotees, but not the literal meaning fear, but the point is that they are subordinates to the Supreme Lord, and they are working in under, they are good servants of the Lord, who are working under His direction. Madbhayad. Here, fear is mentioned, but the whole point is that they are not independent. So, if one takes shelter of Krishna, then there is no fear, because Yamadutas don't touch that person. Krishna says, Kala Asmi. I am Kala. Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. I destroy everything in the form of death. Right? No matter someone may be very beautiful, very intelligent, very wealthy, very big politician or big leader, but at the end, Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. But for a devotee, the same Mrityu transports oneself to the next better destination. So, those who take shelter of Krishna, time does not affect them. Rather, it is said that time pauses in their lives. What's that verse? Yurharti vaipumsan udyan astanchayan asautasya yat shanunita uttama shloka bhartaya. Every rising and setting of the sun, we are getting closer to death. But those who are engaged in uttama shloka bhartaya, that means the conversations about the Supreme Lord, who is known as uttama shloka, who is glorified by choicest poetic verses, then they are not going close to death. They are going close to the eternal kingdom of God, back home, back to Godhead. And death is just the change of their body. So for they are not really fearful of death. So, any other comments anyone has? Okay, 27. So long. Anyone wants to read? Babu, you want to read?
Yes, Guru. Thanks, Kala Prabhu. Matyo mrityu vyala bitha palayam lokan sarvan nirbhayam nadya gachat tvat padam jam prapya yadrachayadhya shusta se aseta mrityur asmad apaiti. Translation. No one in the material world has become free from four principles: birth, death, old age, and disease, even by fleeing to various planets. But now that you have appeared, my Lord, death is fleeing in fear of you, and living entities, having obtained shelter at your lotus feet by your mercy, are sleeping in full mental peace. Purport. There are different categories of living entity, but everyone is afraid of death. The highest aim of the karmi is to be promoted to the higher heavenly planet, whereas duration of life is very long. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 8.17, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyat Brahmano Vidu. One day of Brahma equal 1,000 yugas, and each yuga consists of 4, 40, I think 43 lakhs years. Similarly, Brahma has a night of 1,000 times 43 lakhs years. In this way, we may calculate Brahma month and year, but even Brahma, who lives in millions and millions of years, we Parardha Kala also must die. According to Vedic Shastra, the inhabitants of higher planetary system live for 10,000 years. And just as Brahma's day is calculated equal 43 crores of our years, and one day is higher planetary system equal 6 of our months. Karmis therefore try to promotion to higher planetary system, but this cannot free them from death. In this material world, everyone from Brahma to insignificant and must die. Therefore, this world is called Martya Loka. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 8.16, Abrahma Bravanal Loka Punar Avartino Arjuna. As long as one is within this material world, either on Brahmaloka or any other loka with this universe, one must undergo Kala Chakra of one life after another. Bhutva Pralayati. But if one returns to Supreme Personality of Godhead, you Yadgatvana Vivartante, one need not re-enter the limits of time. Therefore, devotees who have taken shelter of lotus feet of Supreme Lord can sleep very peacefully with this assurance from Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4.9, Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma Naiti. After giving up the present body, a devotee who has understood Krishna as he is need not return to material world. The constitutional position for the living entity is eternity. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire nitya shasvato ayam. Every living entity is eternal, but because of having fallen, can you scroll a little bit upward? Okay. Yeah, because fallen into this material world, one wanders in the universe, continuously changing from one body to another. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Brahmananda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasadi Paya Bhakti Lata Bije. Caitanya-caritāmṛta Madhya Lila 19.1.51. Can I continue, Prabhu?
Maybe you can sum up so more
Yes.
can read.
Yeah, I think it's very valid that I think a lot of people know they try to explore other planets, and people are spending a lot of billions of money and dollars, right, to go to different planetary system, and instead of they need to understand then wherever they go, they know they are going to die, and the moksha is the only one steps all the human beings has to attain through Krishna. And now I think a lot of people, we can see that they spend a lot of money and energy, and they, and without knowing they are spending a lot of money. That is what my understanding, Prabhu. So here they clearly says that death is the fear that no, even it will happen to Brahma as well. So think about us. So we are very small. So we all have to pray Krishna and move towards moksha, instead of looking for going to a heavenly planet, then coming back and going in a circle of birth and death. That's what my understanding. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Since you asked to move to moksha, so we move to moksha. Mataji, want to read the next part of the purport? Want to complete?
Hare Krishna, all devotees. Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Everyone is wandering up and down within this universe, but one who is sufficiently fortunate comes in contact with Krishna consciousness by the mercy of the spiritual master and takes to the path of devotional service. Then one is assured of eternal life with no fear of death. When Krishna appears, everyone is freed from fear of death. Yet Devaki felt, "We are still afraid of Kamsa, although you have appeared as our son." She was more or less bewildered as to why this should be so, and she appealed to the Lord to free her and Vasudeva from this fear. In this connection, it may be noted that the moon is one of the heavenly planets. From the Vedic literature, we understand that one who goes to the moon receives the life with the duration of 10,000 years in which to enjoy the fruit of the pious activities. If our so-called scientists are going to the moon, why should they come back here? We must conclude without a doubt that they have never gone to the moon. To go to the moon, one must have qualification of pious activities. Then one may go there and live. If one has gone to the moon, why should he return to this planet, where life is of a very short duration? So in this His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, is telling us that, as Prabhuji rightly said, that the people who believe in the karmic reaction and who do karma kand, they aim to live in the higher planets, just that the sense gratification would be easy. The quality and the availability, everything will be easy and nice, and they will have a long life duration in which they can enjoy and all these things. But they usually forget that as soon as their pious activities are over, they'll again come on earth. And that too in which body, it is not clear that whether they'll get a human form or an animal form. So for them, death is equal to fear because it is uncertain whether they are coming in which body. As human form of life is the only form of life in which we can connect to God and in which we can be fortunate enough to seek shelter of spiritual master. So, but I have a little doubt in Devaki Maiya's point that since Sri Krishna arrived as her son, she was afraid of Kamsa. I guess maybe because of Yoga Maya, she was seeing Krishna as her son rather than the supreme person. So maybe that is why it is written here. If I'm wrong, please correct me. And yes, I also remember that some days ago I was listening to one of the Srila Prabhupada pastimes in which Prabhuji was telling that as soon as Srila Prabhupada made a statement that the astronaut thinks that they are going on moon, but actually the planet that they are visiting is not moon. So that was a very controversial point. I guess I got the reference here that why did he say so? That if they were on actual moon, then they must have seen moon god and they must have seen the natives there, and also they must have lived there for long life. But this did not happen. They came back here and they did not find any person. So I guess this is why it is written here. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Koti Koti Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, please unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you for reading Moksha Mataji and Babu Prabhu. So here it's mentioned that the whole world is in fear. Pa, fa, ba, bha, ma. Parishrama, fena. Ultimately, vyartha. Bha is bhaya. And ma is mrityu. The biggest fear of everyone has. Mrityu asmat apaiti. Right? So everyone is fearful of old age. No one wants to get old. No one wants to get disease. Right? No one wants to get death. And people try to flee. Right? From one country to the other, from one city. People from village want to go to cities, from city to the bigger city to metropolitan to better country, like for people from India want to come to US, and people from US want to go to moon, right? As Shabro was mentioning, right? And they're literally trying. They're very hard to go to moon, and not even moon. Mars. They're selling tickets to go to Mars. In case you want to book that. So much use. People are using their hard-earned money. Recently, someone sent me an article, or just a fact kind of thing. Like, can you guess how much a person could spend on their wedding gown? Any guesses? How much a very wealthy person could spend on their wedding dress?
$10,000.
$10,000. What do you think? Close? Anyone else? Any other guesses? By the way, for those in India, $10,000 is equivalent to how much? 7-8 lakhs rupees. What does Sudhir Prabhu? What do you think? What's your guesstimate?
$50,000.
$50,000. $4 million.
On the following message.
People are spending $4 million, up to $4 million for their wedding dress. That's, I don't even know how to calculate that. How many zeros are there in there? So, and same is the moon ticket, Mars ticket, that's this ticket, that ticket. No. Ultimately, Shina Punya Mrityu Loka Vishanti. Even if one goes to moon by hook or crook, firstly, we cannot go by hook or crook. One has to get the pious karma. But even if one tries to go, like, who was that? Halfway through, he was like hanging in the middle. I forgot the name. Who was that? Who wanted to go and Vishwamitra tried to send him. And he was hung in the middle.
Shanka something.
Shunku something.
Shankachuda.
Not
No, sorry.
Trishanku.
Trishanka, yeah.
Trishanku was hanging in the middle, still hanging actually. The whole point is everyone is trying to run to get free from death. But who are the real ones who get free from death? My Lord, death is fleeing in fear of you. We just read that verse in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 3. Mrityus charati mad bhayat. Canto 3, chapter 25, text 42. Mrityus charati mad bhayat. Same thing is coming here. Death is fleeing in fear of you and the living entities, devotees, having obtained shelter at your lotus feet. That means those great souls, those devotees who have received the mercy of the spiritual master, who has connected them to the lotus feet of Krishna, are sleeping in full mental peace. They are always happy. They don't have fear of death. They are not worrying, when will I die? Worship. They're not death conscious. When will I die? Whatever Mare Krishna Rakhe Krishna Mare. If it has to come in one day, so be it. If it is to come in 10 years, so be it. 20, 50, whatever years, whatever days. The point is, a devotee is Krishna conscious. Those who are Krishna conscious, death is actually like a new beginning, back home, back to Godhead, right? If someone has to give up an old broken down house to get into a new, better, much better place with much better facilities, will they be sad? Say, no, nice. I'll happily move there. So this is bhakti. The devotee sleeps, the Lord is awake, because the Lord cares for his devotee. And so many examples are there. The Lord, standing with the stick when Raghunath Das Goswami was doing bhajan. Arjuna was sleeping, and on the other side, just in the war grounds, in the war camps, Bhishma had given 5 arrows to Duryodhana. Arjuna was sleeping. I say, Baba, Krishna got anxiety. Tomorrow Duryodhana is going to kill these 5 arrows, or Bhishma is going to kill. Or the 5 of you, he has given these 5 arrows with your names on it. And Krishna is worrying. Devotees, Lord worries for his devotees sleeping peacefully. Baba, get up, go to Duryodhana and get those 5 arrows. So, in these days, so much stress, anxiety, hypertension, mental anxiety, but devotees should not have that. Whatever state Krishna has given us, health or disease, rich or poor, this job or that job, this city or that city, this country or that country, all that is secondary. How much I will live, all are pretty much predestined. We have very little control. What we have control is to render full bhakti and be happy and peaceful and be satisfied in whatever Krishna gives. It's good for us. Easier said than done for a neophyte like myself. Easier said than done. But this is what the Bhagavatam is teaching us. The devotees who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord can sleep very peacefully with this assurance from the Supreme Personality of God. What assurance? That Krishna will always protect. And after this life, one will certainly go back home, back to Godhead. If one is doing one's part, then the Lord will do his part. It's a contract. So this is Krishna consciousness. This is bhakti. This is the Lord's promise. And as you rightly mentioned, Devaki, in the previous chapters we read, Devaki represents consciousness, mind. Kamsa represents bad association. So a good person or a good consciousness should have healthy fear of bad association. And therefore we should pray to Krishna. Krishna, healthy fear is good. Should a devotee have fear? If yes, what? What should a fear? Is a devotee fearful or devotee is abhay? Any thoughts on that?
Devotee is fearful. They are fearful that they may forget Krishna. That is the main fear.
Wonderful. Very nice, Prabhu. Anyone else wants to add to it?
Yeah, but Devaki is still a mother. So she feels for the child. So she's looking at the child in 2 different ways, as a child and as a supreme God. But different moments she may feel different things.
Absolutely, yes. Mata Yashoda was also very fearful when Krishna was in the grips of Kaliya, when Krishna was lifting the Govardhan hill. She would practically faint in fear, like a shock. My child in the grips of Kaliya, what will happen to him? So yeah, devotee should have a healthy fear of bad association. Oh my Lord, I never get into bad association. Oh my Lord, I never give up this process of bhakti. Oh my Lord, I never forget remembering you. Oh my Lord, I never commit any Vaishnava aparadh. even in my dreams. So this is a right healthy fear. Oh my Lord, I know so many basically don'ts, all the don'ts. We don't get into the don'ts, and we continue to do the do's. That a prayer a devotee has, right? So healthy fear is good. Healthy fear, not what if this happens, what if that happens, what if I die tomorrow, what if I die in 1 year. That's not what a devotee thinks about. Devotee only prays prana prayana samayeka famata pittai kantavarodhana vidau smaranam kutasti. Krishna tvadiya padapankaj panjarantam. Oh my mind, when the time of death comes, oh my Lord, you be in my heart. That's my prayer. Not my death should come at 100 years or 150 years. That's not a devotee prays. A devotee prays that may I always remember you. My Lord, if one is favored even by a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of God are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many, many years. Wow. So the whole point is to become, and we can also have this prayer, right? Like, oh my Lord, please give us fearlessness from the bad, and so that we can take full shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Remembering of war times, Prabhupada was in India, and the war was going on. I think 1971-ish, the war was going on at that time. And Prabhupada was busy frying puris and kachoris. I mean, the bombs were like, literally bombs were exploding, but Prabhupada didn't budge. He said, okay, you're a devotee. Death has to come anyways. Body has to die. Jatasya dhruva mrityu dhruva janma mritasya cha. One who is born will die, and the body will take the next birth based on the karma, or go back home, back to Godhead based on the bhakti. But some people, it's not mechanical. We cannot control our death. That will come. What we can control is how much bhakti we would like to render. And Prabhupada also quotes this wonderful verse: by the contact of spiritual master, one renders this path of bhakti. Then one is assured eternal life with no fear of death. Then one is assured. So basically, when Guru comes and engages us in bhakti, when Guru is pleased, Krishna is pleased, then we are free from death, deathless. This is bhakti, the art of overcoming death. Any other comments anyone has? Any thoughts, questions before we kind of wrap up today? Anyone has any additions, comments, questions? Thank you. All of you join so regularly, sincerely. I see so many devotees. Gandhi Prabhu, so grateful to see you. We miss you sometimes on and off, but please continue to give us your association.
Sure, Prabhu. I missed in the between years. Sorry about that.
Sampada Mataji as well. So grateful to see you. Very, very grateful. And Sankirtan Prabhu, Maswati Mataji, Babu Prabhu, Lakshay, thank you. Ikant Prabhu, Nayan Prabhu, Vijaya Mataji, Sneer Prabhu, Vipul Prabhu, Raghu Prabhu, Moksha Mataji. We're glad that you're able to join regularly now. And Shushilpa Mataji, so grateful that you are also regularly joining for last many weeks. This is the real medicine for the soul. I'm so grateful to all of you.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Well, anyone has any quick comments or question? We have a few minutes to
I want
discuss.
to share one comment about the time. As the Purport Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that the sun actually, but sun is controlled by the time and time is controlled by Krishna. So we say that when we say that in spiritual world, everything is eternal. So the time effect is not there, basically. I mean, everything is eternal means just little sharing thought, like this is Krishna's pastime, like Krishna is, he's playing with his coward boys. So this pastime is for infinite, it is going on. We don't know when it is started and it's never going to end. So there is no time factor there. So just thought to share about that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So I also heard yesterday, Amarendra Prabhu was talking about time, Prabhuji, in glorification of Lord Shiva. So Lord Krishna is the time, and he was, telling about how Jayadratha tried to, cheat Arjuna, but Krishna with his Sudarshan Chakra blocked the sun, kind of, blocking the time. And then Jayadratha thought, it's already night. And he came and he was, clapping, oh, now you're going to die, now you're going to die. But Krishna took away his Sudarshan Chakra. And now Arjuna wanted to put fire with the arrow, but Krishna said with the same arrow, he killed Jayadratha. So Krishna can control anything, including time. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Wonderful, wonderful, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay, so we will wrap up here. Thank you so much for your association. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Puran ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveda Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhyo Jagaddanam Bhagavata-sevayā. Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.